My beard doesn't look as homeless on the stream.
You see that guy that deadlifted? He broke the record. He switched. He had a full beard. That's the best part.
Are we live?
We're live.
We're live?
We are live, and
The
somebody
ca-
just
the camera
subscribed.
make-
Anonymous just subscribed.
Wow. Camera makes my beard look way worse than it is.
It's been a while since we've been live, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
We're back, though, and we're
Yep.
3 minutes late.
I sure can't read those questions over there.
Oh, yeah, let me fix this for you here.
Oh, now we're talking.
We're here to see Pigskin's going to be here.
He's coming.
He's a little late.
He's coming.
It's a little late. I already saw people asking questions before. Oh, my God, a lot.
A lot of questions. Let's get what we can get.
Who will the Seahawks pick up in free agency in the NFL draft? That's a lot to answer.
If I'm the
there.
Seahawks, I'm going more so in the draft, but I don't.
They don't have a whole bunch of picks.
Do you think they trade Frank Clark?
I was thinking that they trade.
There's teams that are showing interest.
Yeah, there's teams that
That's so risky.
are
I
calling
wouldn't do
them about trading for Frank Clark.
I would
hold
not do
on.
it.
Hold on. There we go. And there's Frank.
Frank the Tank.
Frank the Tank. There's teams calling the Seahawks trying to trade for Frank Clark. There's no word if the Seahawks are willing to move on from him, but
I'm gonna say I wouldn't.
well, they're taking calls. They could tell somebody and be like, no, and then nobody else calls. So it's kind of weird.
But you got to gauge the market. You don't know if Frank Clark's gonna sign the tag.
Well, if you're the Seahawks, what would you? Let's say most likely he's going to play on the franchise tag this year. We'll just say you think he's going to play on the franchise tag. Would you trade him? What would you trade him for, or would you trade him at all?
I would, if you get some pretty good offer.
What if somebody throws in a late first? I don't think it happens.
I don't think the tag matters because if somebody trades for him, they're going to extend him. You're trading to extend him, almost like a Khalil Mack situation. They traded to extend.
Yeah,
That's
the
why.
Raiders didn't want to pay that kind of money for,
Right.
Which was they had the money. That
I
still
think
was
the-
stupid.
yeah,
but
I
the
think the
Seahawks have the
Seahawks-
money. I think.
If I'm the Seahawks, I'd pay the man. Pay the man. He's
But
good.
what if there was rumors that the Bills and the Colts were interested? Those were like guaranteed the two teams that were calling them.
Whatever team gives me a better offer, pick wise.
Well, obviously the Bills aren't going to give up first round picks. It's
No,
the
no,
ninth
no.
overall. What if I don't think the Colts will either? But what if the Colts give up that late first round pick? Like I think I'd take it.
I would do it.
I think you. That's the problem though, because there's a gap of edge rushers in this draft. Like there's a big gap. Like all the good ones might be. There's a list of really good guys, but soon as that last one's gone, there's a big gap. So what if that guy's gone and you can't get the replacement? So it's like almost like you want to wait till the draft to on the clock, but that doesn't happen with players like these.
It's so tough because like if the Seahawks last year, we all thought they were done. We thought they were done. They came out, traded everyone away. You're just like, okay, they're rebuilding. Then they make the playoffs. It's like, what? If I'm the Seahawks, I either extend Russell and him,
There he
or
is.
trade them both. Pigskin's here. People are asking about you, Pete.
Yeah, somebody right away said we're only here to see Pigskin.
Work.
He's here.
This is work. What do you mean?
This is
Oh, I
work.
got 2 jobs.
2 jobs.
Yeah, Frank Clark, Pete. You think they trade him? I don't think they trade him.
I wouldn't.
I don't think they do it.
Ooh, Hoodie Pete.
Don't think they do it. But it'll be interesting to see. I don't know. But the question, did we really answer the question? What free agents do they pick up? They're going to take a look at
depends.
Sue. They were interested in him last year. I like Roger Saffold for them. Sweezy, the left guard's a free agent, so they're going to be looking for a left guard. Man, it's tough to say. People like link safeties to them, like Earl Thomas replacements, but they got 3 really young guys that are pretty solid that worked out last year. So I think they stick with those guys. So I don't know. In terms of draft,
I kind of think the Seahawks should commit to a
it's
rebuild.
hard to say right now. Commit to a rebuild.
Yeah.
Trade Russell Wilson.
Because I don't think Russell signs an extension.
Well, if you don't think he does, then you better trade him. But I think he does.
You think he does?
Yeah.
He's a loyal guy.
He's a little guy.
No, a loyal guy.
I thought you said little
no,
too.
a loyal guy.
I thought you said
He's a
little
little
too.
guy.
A little guy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But who could they get in the draft? Yeah, I think they look at interior D-line or another edge rusher.
They're
in
good at drafting there.
that first round pick. So
The
we will-
Seahawks?
yeah.
They're good at what they do. That front office is good at what they do.
Their offense is surprisingly good. Like they don't have any big names on their. I mean, they have Russell Wilson, but no big names on their offense. But they actually play really well.
Doug Baldwin is their biggest name
Yeah,
on
that's
offense,
kinda
minus Russell.
Like Tyler
Wilson.
Lockett, Chris Carson's a beast. They got Penny as a backup as well. He's pretty good. They got Mike Davis, who's pretty good. So
They led the league.
I
in
think they're
rushing.
pretty. They got pretty good depth. Could use some receivers. I think they need a tight end. I think a tight end.
Ooh.
The Van Nett looked pretty good though, and they have Disley. I think they're okay at
Offensive
tight end.
line
Actually.
got better.
I think they're okay at tight end.
Offensive line got better. They look like they're gonna lose Earl Thomas, so maybe a safety.
Will the Rams pick up C.J. Mosley?
No,
No.
I think the price tag's a
they
little
just
too
paid
high.
Eric Weddle. I
Yeah, I
know they
think
have money, but
C.J.
I
Mosley
think
right there.
I think he goes back to the Ravens.
Yeah, I think it sounds like it's Ravens or Cardinals at this point. The Rams could definitely use a guy like that. I don't know if they really value the linebackers. I don't know if they're going to go out and pay a lot of money for a middle linebacker. Just some teams will and some teams won't. I think the Rams are one of the teams that won't. I could be wrong.
I think the Rams are a team that wants to, but I think his price is high.
Yeah, I mean they got to
Higher
get
than
back.
they can
They want to get back Fowler.
According to my sources, they don't value the linebacker.
Ooh.
Okay, who's your
Okay,
sources?
yeah, who's Danny? Is Danny your source?
Danny's my
I'm just
source.
waiting for some big news to happen while we're live here. That'd be
nice.
That'll be epic.
There's not gonna be any news.
Jaleel Adai replacement if Chargers do pick up a new guy, or where will he go?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, he just got cut. They're up to about $28 million in cap space now, so they're in the market, I think, for maybe a top tier safety next to Derwin James. Do they go for Earl Thomas? Do they do
That'd
it?
be a duo.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I thought they were going to get Eric Weddle back, but
No, the
wrong
reunion wasn't
wrong
in the future.
LA.
I think they're ready to go. They might go bigger here. They might go.
Earl.
They could go Earl. There's a lot of strong safeties in free agency. They could be getting ready to go for Earl Thomas. That could be interesting. Or maybe they want to clear the space for somebody else. Maybe they want Anthony Barr. Maybe they want Sue. They can use Sue on the D line. Maybe they want Tyrell Williams back. There's a lot that we don't know right now. That's the magical part about free agency. Some
So
surprises.
magical.
Yeah, it is. Amendola landing spot. Patriots.
Well, yeah, he's gonna go back.
You go back to the
He's gonna go
Patriots.
They need some depth there.
I can see the Titans. I can see, and the Vikings are looking for a third receiver. Somebody like that.
I like
Ravens.
Amendola. Ravens could take
I
him.
don't really think about the Titans, but that's definitely.
I think that makes sense. Patriots, Ravens, Titans. They're the top three. The Redskins. There's
I think
four.
the Titans need a veteran.
I think they're
Veteran
I think-
presence?
I think
Veteran
they're,
presence
I
in
think
the
they're
wide receiver.
looking. I think the guys are gonna like Adam Humphries. I know he's young still, but
I think he's asking for too much.
I think he's asking for too much too. But I think they're looking at him, Golden Tate.
Ooh, that's a pickup.
Maybe like a John Brown.
Oh yeah, John Brown. I forgot that was a
We're
one.
talking
I think
Amendola right
Amend-
now.
I
And
think
I have a CJ Mosley background.
I think Amendola would definitely
Do you have an
be a
Amendola
legit
picture, right?
option.
I don't have an Amendola.
Maybe
picture.
Jameson Crowder too. They're looking for like a speed guys because Taylon Taylor's looking like a bust right now. Drops the ball way too much.
He does still have the wheels,
He does have wheels. He can make plays when the ball's in his hand, but he has to get the ball in his hands.
right?
Tevin Coleman. Where does he go? Where did we predict in our video?
I think it was Jets.
I predicted the Chiefs.
I think
but
I did Jets.
Carlos Hyde's going to the Chiefs now, so I'm thinking Jets. Yeah, I think
his
Jets.
price tag's high.
I forgot what I did. I didn't do the Chiefs. I remember that.
You might have done Jets with me.
I think what's your pick now? That's the most important. If you
I'm
can't
gonna
remember your
stick
pick
with the
then, it
Jets.
can't be your pick now. I think the Jets, the Eagles, and the Buccaneers are the three teams.
Yeah. I think the
Possibly
Eagles,
the Raiders.
The Eagles still got to do some cap maneuvering.
We'll see what happens with Le'Veon Bell. We like the Bucks for Bell. So, but if
What
they
am I
don't,
doing? They didn't have Coleman.
there
on
you
the-
go.
They didn't even have him on the screen.
there you go. I think we all had Bell for the Bucks, right? So
Yeah, I don't know if they have that money though. That room.
yeah, we'll see what happens. If it doesn't happen, then definitely Tevin Coleman there. I think is a legit option.
Oh, I think the Jets want to get everybody that wants a running back wants to get Bell first.
Yeah.
I don't know about everyone.
Yeah, well, that was my next point, actually. There's some teams that may think we're not going to get Bell because we're just not going to get him or we can't pay him, so they might go straight for Coleman and beat those other teams to him. So that's where the Jets might go wrong because they may throw a bunch of money at Le'Veon Bell, wait around for him to make his choice. By that time, Coleman's already signed with the Eagles or the Bucks.
I think that Coleman fits more systems than Le'Veon.
Probably.
So I think if I'm a GM, he's way more appealing than Le'Veon. Le'Veon scares me. He was
But
willing
Le'Veon's
to,
better,
He was
though.
willing to sit out a year. We don't know. He hasn't played a year.
True. I don't really like. I would rather have Coleman.
I'd
Honestly.
rather have Coleman all day.
less money, and you don't get that. You know, Le'Veon Bell, he brings up the question, like, how much does he love the game? Like, he's able to sit out for a year. Like, how much does he love the game? So I'd rather have Coleman, honestly, or draft one. But that's just me. Rather than spending, if they're both the same price, maybe it's a different conversation. But
I don't. Yeah.
what moves do you think the Chiefs will make in the offseason?
Defense.
Well, they got Carlos Hyde.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was like a veteran guy to pair up with what they got going on there.
Kenny?
I think Damien's their one.
You put Kenny on there?
One.
No, D4.
Oh.
We're talking Chiefs.
Who do you think Damien they're rolling with day one?
Damien and Hyde? I think they're going to use
Yeah?
Damien more, yeah.
You think he's like the starter day one? Yeah,
I don't know. I could see Hard actually. Hard. Hyde playing. Hyde getting hard on first down. I can see it. Just on first down.
First down.
I think that Hyde is on the C.J. Anderson diet. You seen pictures of this guy?
No.
He'll get it back. He can get hard in no time.
He was like that, and then he slimmed down a lot.
Yeah, remember his he looks good.
Though. Yeah,
He looks like he barely fits.
You know what
in
I
the
want
helmet.
to do here? Oh, let's finish answering this question. I kind of want to get with the live chat. So if you asked the question way earlier, I would recommend asking it again. Because I kind of want to get going live. We're like 30 minutes back right now.
Okay.
But the Chiefs, what do? Do you think they offer Earl Thomas?
I think the Chiefs offer Earl Thomas, and I think the bold move. I do think they trade D Ford.
Yeah, I don't really agree with them doing that, but I do think they do. I think the Packers. I think the Packers trade for D Ford.
I told you, if I'm the Packers, I'm getting AB and D Ford.
They're not getting AB.
You could do it.
Trade for D Ford. I think the Packers do it. I really think it's going to happen.
They wanted Khalil.
The Packers could turn this around right now.
Do it.
10 draft picks. They trade 1 for D Ford, maybe 2. Still good to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say those are my 2 moves. I think they do, but I don't think they get Earl Thomas, but they definitely
try.
They sign a safety.
I mean, they
sign a safety.
They can get Gibson. They can get Collins, Amos, Joyner.
Yeah.
I'm missing some. Clinton Dix, and I'm not a fan of a lot of those guys, but they can play. All right, let's get with the live chat here.
All right.
It's just coming in rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Spam Josh Rosen. How about we not?
Spam Josh Rosen. All right. Apologize if we missed your question. There's a lot coming in. 144 viewers. Wow.
48. You're behind.
148. It just switched right when I said it. Do you guys think Adrian Amos to the Broncos? I like that one because
the fit's there. The
Vic
connection's
Fangio's
there, but I don't like it as a Bears fan.
They cut Darian Stewart too to get ready for this.
Please no.
Be a good pair there. They got Justin Simmons back there.
I can pick multiple teams for these guys all day that fit, but if I had to pick 2, like you have to pick 2 teams. He has to go you win money if he goes to one of those 2 teams. I got it. What is it?
Bears Broncos.
There you go. That's what I
thank you.
I do like the Cowboys a lot, and I do like the Redskins a lot too. Texans maybe a wild card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, James Harden said Amos to the Texans.
Ooh, interesting.
But apparently the Texans have the best defensive backs in NFL.
According to him?
That was
what
season.
Team?
The Texans.
Yeah, but they're losing Tyron.
That's true. Okay.
Questions coming in rapid fire. Tyro Williams to the Titans. Pete's the Titans guy. He says no. So
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Out.
Would you take him? Would you
I would
like
take
that?
him for the right price. I think
that's Tevin Coleman.
I think he's actually going to be one of the highest.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Keep going. Just don't worry about what I'm trying to do. I'm struggling over here, but
I think he's going to be one of the higher paid receivers.
This isn't easy the way I set this up.
I think he's going to be one of the higher paid receivers in.
That's Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah. Tyron, not Tyrell.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I think he's been one of the higher paid receivers, and I don't think Johns is going to throw his money at it, especially after watching.
Kenan, longtime followers. Kenan Sinan donated $10 to Super Chat.
He's donated before, I think, right?
That's what I said. Longtime.
I'm saying I think he donated before.
Oh, he's donated plenty of times.
Yeah. Love you, Kenan. Let's read.
Hey, I got Tyro Williams.
About time.
It's about time. Best NFL channel on YouTube. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
What do you think of Lions getting Barr or Collins? Yeah, the recent rumors are that the Lions are the front runner for Anthony Barr.
I can see it.
They have a pretty solid linebacker unit, but yeah, they get better at Barr.
Pete's big on that division team. Players going to division rivals. He's big on that.
As a Vikings fan, I wouldn't be too happy. I still think Barr goes West Coast. He wants to play West Coast, but he would like to play for Patricia there. They would use him in mysterious ways. Landon Collins, I saw the odds, the Vegas odds, and number 1 was the Lions, which is surprising because I'm thinking it's weird because the odds right now say Barr and Collins both to the Lions, but I'm still feeling maybe the Raiders for Barr, and for Collins maybe the Colts or the Redskins. Mm-hmm. I think I have those teams before the Lions for both those players, but it's definitely possible. It's sounding more and more realistic, kind of sticking to my gut still.
I got some thoughts on Tyrell.
I didn't
appreciate the donation
because Kenan had a great donation.
Yeah,
there.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
But I was saying Tyrell, I think he's going to set the market. I think he's going to be the highest paid receiver in the market, like him and Golden Tate. But Tate's a little bit older, so I think that's why Tyrell would get a bigger deal. But yeah, we've seen in the past, John Robinson has passed on receivers in the last couple free agencies. Like they're expecting him to go for Allen Robinson, he didn't want to pay up for that. They're expecting him to go for Sammy Watkins, he didn't want to pay up for that. And like the year before that, when Terrell Pryor had his breakout year, like Titans fans and media wanted him to pay for him, but no, he didn't want to pay for that either. So I think he's going to go with a cheaper, not like super cheap, but I think he's definitely going to. He sees it was a problem last year. They didn't have a receiver, so I think he's going to go for like a mid-tier free agent at receiver. So
I got some thoughts here.
Okay.
I agree. He's going to set the market for free agent receivers, and he is going to be the highest paid. But I think he kind of wants to be the guy. He came out and said he wants to be the guy. I think he has to think in Tennessee he can potentially be the guy. I think he thinks that. Definitely thinks that.
Yeah, but I don't know if they offer him like where he even goes there. Like,
they need to make some moves.
Davis is the guy.
Yeah, but they need to make some moves in the receiver position.
I think we all picked Williams to go to the Colts in our video.
Yeah,
and I'm sticking to that.
I like the duo Ty.
But apparently the Raiders and the Browns are pretty high on him too.
Cleveland.
I just see Indianapolis. But a guy, speaking of the Titans, a guy that I think the Titans will go for and could get is Preston Smith from the Redskins. I think he fits at outside linebacker for them.
Big boy.
Opposite of Harold Landry. So I think that's a guy to look out for the Titans. Let's see, maybe they won't even make an offer, but I think it makes sense.
We'll see.
I did my Dominican Sue free agency video earlier today. I had the Titans high up on that one. I was actually leaning Rams-Titans, one of those two. So we'll see. They could potentially get both. That'd be nuts.
That'd be wild. That'd be a D line. Jesus.
Man,
we gotta get
so
some
many
chat
questions here.
What we can.
Could you see Chicago stealing Randall Cobb from the Packers?
Don't want
him. The Bears guy doesn't want him. So there you go. I don't think they need him either.
You don't.
They have enough guys like a younger versions of Randall Cobb.
I want Wims to get his shot.
Like if the Bears are, I don't see it happen. That'd be wild, but I don't see it happen.
Braden asked, who do you think the Dolphins should or will get? I think they should go.
In what, the draft or free agency? Did he make that?
Didn't make it clear, really.
Okay.
I guess we're talking free agency because we're doing a free agency live stream, but think that they should go for Teddy. I think they should move on from Tannehill. I think Teddy deserves a shot, like at least give him like a short deal.
What about Trey Flowers? What do you think of
Yeah,
him?
and then also I was gonna add in like get some familiar pieces that Flores has had in the past.
Well,
like
there's
Flowers.
Teddy. You mentioned Teddy. Let me bring Trey back.
There
You're
we
about
go.
to mention him.
Yeah, and just bring in some talent that maybe Flores can use or that he's confident with and he's comfortable with. So yeah, definitely Trey Flowers.
So many questions. They're just rapid fire in here. It's hard to pick some. Somebody asked our thoughts on the Giants-Browns trade. Olivier Vernon, Zeitler.
I think it kind of helps both.
I think it's
helps
good for
needs
both.
at both. It was straight up, right?
It was that, and they swapped some picks, but basically the focus is on the players. They're like the main part. But if you had to pick a winner, I mean, I'd pick the Giants because I think they filled a little more of a need because the Browns didn't really need Vernon. They could have got away with, and I think for Zeitler, the Giants get a lineman that's going to start right away, and it's what they needed.
I know I was big on Houston going to Cleveland because of veteran presence in that room, and Vernon fills that veteran presence in Cleveland's room. And I like it. I just think that the Giants definitely won this. Like you said, fill the need, dump some cap. Don't touch that pen. Dump some cap, fill the need, and meanwhile, like the Browns didn't lose. They didn't get like absolutely. It was pretty much a fair trade, I would say.
Here's a Bears question for you.
Let me hear it.
What do the Bears do in free agency, and do they retain Adrian Amos and Bryce Callahan?
I mean, I think they one of them. They're bringing one of them back. I think.
Well, you did your ASMR video on Callahan, so
right.
and like that was guaranteed.
I want them both.
That was guaranteed.
I want them both. I think you need Amos. He knows the system. It's a good pairing with Eddie Jackson.
I got a feeling he's gonna leave now.
You got a feeling?
Yeah.
We were just talking about him already. We were saying
I wonder,
Broncos,
I don't know.
Bears, possibly Cowboys,
We'll see.
possibly
I mean,
Skins.
They got. I think they're gonna have to choose one of the two.
Right. And I think if you have to choose one of the two, I would take Amos all day. I would take Amos all day.
I think Danny wants Callahan.
He does. Danny likes his nickel corners. Let me tell you.
He does. I mean, there's not too many good ones. There's some good ones in the draft though.
It's risky. It's risky, but I think Amos is. I think he's higher on their priority list. I honestly do believe that. I think another offseason goal for the Bears would be to kind of get what you can for Jordan Howard. Bring another young guy. I would say bring a veteran and draft a young guy in running back wise to be with Tariq. Obviously, Tariq is not your every down back. He can't be. No, but I think that those are kind of the top of the list. Maybe some tight end depth. You kind of, I don't know. It's just Shaheen kind of scares me. Every time he gets hit, he comes up like he got hurt, so it's kind of questionable.
Really?
But yeah, that's what I got.
A little off topic, but the fan voted mock draft on Twitter that we're holding on Twitter. The Bengals ended with the 11th pick, and it ended in a tie with Kyler Murray and Devin Bush. Kyler Murray's still on the board at the 11th pick. Don't think that happens for real, but there's a tie of 30% for Kyler Murray and Devin Bush.
Kyler.
Yeah, let's give it to Kyler.
You give it to Kyler?
Yeah, and then they end up trading.
The Packers going to be next. They're going to have to get the Packers post out there soon.
Seen a lot of comments about asking about Odell to the Patriots. I don't think he even gets traded.
Gettleman already said. The first thing he said, we went to the podium at the combine, was first things first, we didn't sign Odell to trade him. And I believe him. I definitely believe him. So I don't think they trade him.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
Blunt to the Vikings, and they're gonna need the guy to
power back.
They're gonna need somebody like that to replace Murray. So I can actually see it.
And he's good against the Bears, so that's a good move.
Oh, there you go. I can see it. They need somebody to replace Murray. They're very tight in the cap. I'm surprised the Vikings haven't. I was talking about that on Twitter a little bit. I'm surprised they haven't made a single move yet. Like, didn't cut anybody, didn't trade anybody, all that talk. And we'll see. Maybe something's still going to happen. But
we got a Titans question here. He says that with pick 19, they go edge. What edge rushers do you think are
So
there
if they went
19? If they went edge, what edge rushers are there at 19?
I don't know. See who's there. I think Sweat and Burns are gonna be gone.
Well, it's obvious that Bosa and Allen will be gone.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying.
Just so we're clear, Sweat and Burns will be gone.
I think, but if one of them are there, definitely
it'd be Burns.
Yeah,
but don't think he would be.
I don't know what they're gonna do then. I don't really like anyone.
Cleveland Farrell's good, but I don't think he fits.
I don't really like anyone after that. So if they really want to go edge, they could trade back, or I think they could easily go receiver.
Ja'Kai Polite. I think Polite's worthy of that pick, but I think he drops because of his attitude.
I think they either go receiver or they could definitely take interior defensive line. Like I don't know if Ed Oliver's going to be there, but I think they could take him, or they could take Christian Wilkins, or maybe Dexter Lawrence. It might be a reach, but
don't think Odell gets traded at all. Saints free agent moves, tight end, defensive end. Yeah, there's been no talk about the Saints. Like, you notice that?
Yeah.
Like, no one's talked about the Saints. I don't know if they really go DN. If they do, it would be kind of like a rotation guy, because I think that Cameron Jordan and Davenport is their duo. Tight end they definitely can use. There's not really any good free agents. I think they're going to look in the draft guys like Dawson Knox from Ole Miss and Jay Sternberger from Texas A&M. I think they go at one of those guys. But free agency, I like Landon Collins on the Saints. Not saying it happens. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Next to Marcus Williams. Maybe they make an offer. I think to me it makes sense. So we'll see. It's a wild card one.
They got to.
This guy keeps asking if Jordan Howard gets traded. Do you see the Bears going after Le'Veon Bell?
They have to re-sign Amos and Callahan, and then by then, they're not gonna have money. They're not gonna have that kind of money unless they're dumping something. They got to dump some salary somewhere.
Yeah, there's a long shot.
Yeah, it's a long shot. But
I heard they're possibly bringing in Adrian Peterson if they trade Jordan Howard.
I would love it. That'd be a move.
So I think they're more in the market for that, like a 1-year guy.
Yeah. Another thought on the Saints. I think that nobody's really talking about it at all. They're not talking about the Saints in general, but they're not talking about the fact that Drew Brees has 1 year left on his deal.
And he's probably retiring.
Right. So you're either going to draft the guy who's coming in or you're going to sign. And you don't trade for Teddy if you don't want him back.
They got a good look at him, though. Maybe they don't like it, what they saw. I think he goes to Miami.
I just think that the Saints are going to bring in someone that's going to be either your bridge quarterback or
I think it's more likely that they
Brees.
Draft or free agent quarterback.
I think free agent. You're going to see a free agent come in.
Who's it going to be?
Like, watch the Dolphins go cut Tannehill, like somebody like that. Somebody who's like...
Yeah, Tannehill's...
Watch Bortles. Somebody who's going to be a backup.
Yeah, I think Teddy to the Dolphins, but Tannehill, they were the only team that was talking to them about trading for him was the Redskins, but they traded for Keenum.
Right.
So
Tannehill's going to get cut.
He's pretty much screwed. I don't know if he's got a starting job at this point.
No, Tannehill, Bortles will be backups next year. There's so many guys. Maybe the Saints get Glennon.
That's a good one. If you like giraffe-like figures,
long necks,
then Glennon's your guy. We know a guy. We'll get him in there.
I bet his price is real low.
Probably. Yeah, the Vikings need a backup quarterback. They have Slaughter, but they didn't have him dress.
Simeon?
He's a free agent.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're gonna. I mean, they're very confident in Cousins, so. I would like Tyrod Taylor as a Vikings fan myself. I would really like him because in case, let's just say the offensive line just complete dog shit again.
Whoa. Wow.
I think you're better off throwing a guy like that can escape the sacks. I don't blame a lot of anything on Cousins, really. I mean, he needs to be a little better down the stretch, but it's mainly the offensive line's fault, and he's not the most athletic guy, so, I mean, sometimes you're better off with the more athletic guy. So just in case, obviously Cousins is a lot better than Taylor, but Tyrod Taylor makes sense, but I think he's going to be like a big money backup, so Vikings in a tough cap situation. Missing a lot of questions here.
Yeah, let's go. Let's find some.
I keep saying, do the Giants rebuild? What's the free agency like? I keep seeing that. They need multiple defensive backs. They need another pass rusher. It's tough. Yeah, somebody was asking if they're in rebuild mode. It's tough to... I guess they kind of are.
They kind of are, but I think they also can...
I mean, they could be that surprise team that, depending on what they do, but they need another edge rusher really bad. They need corners. They need safeties.
Quarterback.
They need a quarterback. They need offense line on the right side. I think they go for Darrell Williams from the Panthers to play right tackle. I think Dwayne Haskins is I guess the most likely guy. I'd say if they miss out on a lineman or don't even go for one, a right tackle to be specific, in free agency, and maybe they bring in some kind of quarterback, I look for them to go Juwan Taylor with their first round pick, who I like a lot, the right tackle from Florida. So that's a wild card move right there, and it makes sense to me. But let's see if they do it. Yeah, it almost looks like they're in rebuild mode now because they need so much, But it's that team that, with the right quarterback, with Saquon Barkley, with Odell, they can definitely win some games.
I think they're going to be that kind of team that will bring in draft a quarterback and just make a deep run. I think a deep run into the season, they're gonna. I honestly think that if they bring in the right quarterback, obviously drafted first round quarterback, I think that they could be. They'll be over 500.
Could be.
I think they can be. I don't know. I like what they got going on there.
Everyone wants to know about their team.
Yeah, it's hard to get to them. Yes.
I liked.
I saw Sue to the Vikings. You see, he's flying to Minnesota.
Is he really?
Yeah, but I don't know what it's for. You're not allowed to meet with people yet.
Byron Murphy to the Steelers. I actually like that.
Like, what is Sue flying into Minnesota?
Do you think Sue is a guy who plays by the rules?
I don't think they can pay him. And I think they would rather have Sheldon Richardson back instead. So I don't know.
Who gets paid more out of those two?
Probably Sue. I think it's hard to say which one's better. Sue during the regular season last year versus Sheldon Richardson. Definitely Sheldon Richardson.
Playoff Sue.
Playoff Sue was unreal. Absolutely unreal. Like he
was saving it in the tank.
That's what I'm. Yeah, but the Vikings didn't even make the playoffs this year. They got to make the playoffs, so they need him.
Right,
in the
but
regular
Kirk's going to be better.
Yeah, but we would like him to play Sue to be able to play in the regular season. I don't want him to take it off.
Put that in his contract. He has to play like.
I don't think he goes
Sue.
there. I don't think that's what he's flying to Minnesota for something, but I don't think it's that.
Maybe to work out with Spielman.
Okay. Jags, Teddy, or Nick Foles? Gotta say Foles. It's gotta be happening.
Yeah.
Someone asked. I mean, it doesn't matter if after Jags get Foles/Teddy, do you think they should get Metcalf with their first pick?
Ooh.
If it's between Metcalf and Juwan Taylor, I'm thinking Juwan Taylor. I'm going with the offensive lineman.
They're getting rid of a lot of key players on defense, so we have to start rebuilding some defensive players too.
But I would like Dede and Metcalf. That'd be wild.
Metcalf
combo.
scares me a little bit. Like he's only like a sideline guy, like down the field guy. Like it's a little scary.
That's tough.
Like what's he gonna get you? I mean, he's definitely freakish, but yeah. Somebody said Anthony Barr rumored to be a Lion. Yeah, we talked a little bit on that. I still think. Damian Wilkins donated $5 through Super Chat. Is it possible to become a member of the Goat House?
Is it possible?
Yeah, that's what he asked.
You got to put your time in there, buddy.
Well, you're somewhat a member right now.
Yeah, you technically are.
Yeah.
You built the Goat House with us. If you're subscribed, of course.
Yeah.
If you're not, you're not a member.
There you go.
So,
appreciate the donation. Really
yeah,
appreciate it. Anthony, what I was telling Anthony Barr, yeah, Lions definitely a possibility. I'm still kind of feeling the West Coast teams, the Raiders, the Chargers, one of those teams possibly. He said he wants to play in the West Coast, but maybe the Lions make the best offer. We'll see. Biggest need for the Chargers, D tackle and linebacker. Now another safety too. I think those are the three biggest needs. I would like them. I talked about this a little bit before too. I would like to see them put a more athletic D tackle in front of Melvin Ingram. Would they have Corey Legit there? Like Melvin Ingram's like off the ball a lot, so you would like a more athletic guy in front of him, you know? So I think that makes more sense. They should be going for a guy like Sheldon Richardson. I think that makes more sense. So yeah.
Hey, look how chunks he looks.
Hyde looking big. Can't tell from that.
I can't really tell.
Look at those cheeks.
A lot of questions. It's hard to like. It's constantly moving here.
It's constantly moving. Ooh, Gostowski to the Bears. Love it.
We think the Jags are picking at 7. It's either, as long as they get a quarterback in free agency, it's either Metcalf, the Ole Miss receiver, or Juwan Taylor, the Florida right tackle. One of those two.
What if they have their eyes on a rookie quarterback?
Maybe they do.
That's one of those teams that just.
I'm kind of thinking the Raiders maybe do too. That'd be weird.
Yeah, but that's tough because like, I think the Raiders are one of those teams they could have their eye on a quarterback, but if they go and trade Carr early, they kind of show their hand.
Yeah.
So if Carr gets traded during the draft, that'd be nuts.
There's so many more trade targets for players this year than ever. I feel like
there are going to be player trades in the draft. It's going to be wild.
That normally doesn't happen.
Right.
I don't know.
That's
still hard
not
to see,
a
though.
NFL thing. That's wild.
Mosley. What are the chances of Mosley going to the Raiders?
They can pay him.
I just don't think it. I think it's either. Kind of talked about it a little bit. Right? I think it's either. I think if I had to pick, it's back to the Ravens, but the Cardinals are supposed to be very interested as well. So I'm thinking one of those two teams. But my pick's the Ravens. Devin White or Drew Lock at 10 for the Broncos.
That's a good question right there.
Yeah, it is a good question.
Flacco?
I think they go Devin White. I keep saying it. We're going to find out. If Devin White's on the board at 10, we're going to find out how much control Fangio has. Because if they don't go Devin White, John Elway's taking over. Like, the head coach, really has no decision. Because Devin White is a Vic Fangio guy. He's a Vic Fangio pick. So if I'm predicting, I'm saying Devin White. If I'm in that spot, It's tough because Devin White's way higher on my big board. But we're talking quarterback here. And there's another donation. Gus Gayer.
Thank you, Gus Bus.
Donated
Gus
$4.99. Appreciate you. Get a clap. We get a clap. What's the position Oakland spends biggest on in free agency? Will they build depth in free agency and splash in the draft, or vice versa? Love the YouTube and Twitter content. Appreciate you. This is a good looking question.
That's a nice looking.
That's nice.
I'm starting to think, what is Antonio Brown? Antonio Brown's on a free agent, so that doesn't count, but that's their biggest spend. I'm starting to think Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, both of them.
Wow.
Both and possibly Anthony Barr.
Jeez.
Wow.
And possibly HaHa Clinton Dix.
And potentially getting more picks by trading Carr.
Yeah, but they're going to give something up for Brown, but they could still have their 3 first-round picks.
That's
So the Raiders can go from worst to first.
Yeah, I think
Not dead
I
last.
think their most money spent will be on an edge rusher. I think they're definitely looking for an edge rusher, and they're going to demand.
I don't know.
Edge rushers are demanding the most money right now.
That's a good point, but they could just be. They could be waiting for that 4th pick. Like they could be going Josh Allen at the 4th pick. So that's their pass
They
rush.
could use more than one.
Yeah, I mean they have Arden Key, but they could use more.
You know what that guy's going to do.
I mean, the offseason, the answer to your question in the offseason, I think, will be Antonio Brown. But in free agency, they could be Le'Veon Bell for single players. But in terms of position, man,
that's tough.
could be linebacker. They could bring in multiple linebackers. We talk about Barr. They can try to bring in somebody else too. They can bring in a Barr and a Quan Alexander. I think that makes a lot of sense. That's a lot of money right there. So it's really tough to answer what position. I think their biggest, which player. I think if they go for Bell, Bell's tough to predict where he's going to go. I think I can see him joining. Because why is Antonio Brown okay with playing? I take it as he's okay with playing with the Raiders. Like why would he be okay with that? Maybe he knows Bell could go there. So I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know.
The more this Antonio Brown stuff goes on, the more I dislike the man.
There he is.
I dislike him.
You dislike him? Yeah. The reason I really wouldn't trade for him, depending on the price, but I think he like really loses his temper like very easily now, like with teammates and coaches, and that's really not good, you know. And he's getting older. He's still elite, but I keep my draft picks. I mean, if it's like a 3rd round pick, all right, yeah, take my third round pick. But it's gonna be more.
Someone in the chat earlier said that the Raiders are going to trade a 3rd round pick for him. I was like, if that's the case, Titans need to get in there.
If that's the case, a lot of teams should be in the sweepstakes.
That's why it's still going on. It's supposed to be done by now.
But you're hearing that teams are backing out.
I saw the Eagles. You see that?
Yeah.
The Eagles.
I saw Eagles Raiders.
Eagles traded Michael Bennett. They made some space. Still not a lot of space.
That's where they're gonna go spend their money.
Yeah, that's like
so
the only. That's the only thing they would be able to do.
Yeah.
Then, yeah.
But him and Elshon.
But in terms of the Raiders for the drafts, yeah, I'm thinking pass rusher, receiver, and interior D line with their first 3 picks. It's hard to pick positions because you got to pick best player available for the most part. Running back would be probably the next thing, but yeah, I'm thinking
We gotta see what they do in free agency first, and that makes the draft more clear.
Yeah, but what if they get? Let's say they get like Ziggy Ansah, and they get. Trying to think here, who's like a Derek Morgan? Let's say they get Ziggy Ansah. You probably can get a better fit than Derek Morgan, but I'm just hypothetical here. Ziggy Ansah, Derek Morgan, you're on the clock. So you just got 2 pass rushers, and you have Arden Key. They're on the clock. Josh Allen is there. What do? You have to take Josh Allen.
Yeah.
So then you have another pass rusher. So I think if Josh Allen or Quinn Williams, if those 2 guys are there, I don't think both are going to be there. I think if one of those 2 are there, you take them. But maybe they're in love with the quarterback. I saw a mock draft, NFL mock draft. I think it was Chad Rauter. I think he had Drew Lock going to. Maybe it wasn't him. There was a mock draft I seen recently that had Drew Lock going to the Raiders at the 4th pick, which is interesting. Maybe they like him.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking about Landon Collins. We talk Landon Collins yet?
I think Landon Collins is gonna. How we talked about how Tyrell Williams is gonna set the wide receiver market. I think Landon Collins is gonna set the safety market here.
Yeah, my pick was the Colts. I'm sticking with the Colts for Landon Collins, but the Redskins. I know you picked the Redskins, and I saw Lewis Riddick tweeted that look out for the Redskins for Landon Collins. He doesn't tweet much, so that's kind of interesting. So
that's Pete's source.
My source.
I'm on.
No,
I'm
I
on.
mean,
no, I'm
Pete
picking-
said it before Lewis
Yeah,
Riddick.
I'm picking.
So Pete's Lewis
Picking,
Riddick source.
picking
Pete got
division-
Case Keenum.
Picking division ones, right?
Right,
Pete
that's
got
right.
Keenum. Now we get to see Kirk Cousins Keenum flipped. Actually, we get to see who's better. For
Who's
real.
better?
Ooh.
I didn't think about that till you said it.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So that's gonna be interesting. But Landon Collins,
I
yeah.
think you said you think Landon Collins is the safety market? I don't think so.
Who's gonna get paid more than
Earl
Thomas
Thomas
will
will
get
get
paid
paid.
Oh,
more.
Earl Thomas. That's right.
But I'm scared of Earl Thomas's
I still think
injury.
Yeah.
I think people.
I like
Oh.
Amos. I think I like.
I think yeah. I think Amos. I think
yeah.
Amos will get paid more than Landon Collins.
No, I don't think he gets paid
No.
more.
I think
That's
so.
why I like Amos better because I think he's like
I don't think
pretty
Landon
similar
Collins.
talent. Honestly, Amos might be better, but we only seen one really good year from him.
I think teams know like Landon Collins isn't that good.
That's
He's
true.
good. He's like
because
he's
the
good,
Giants
but,
were
like,
trying to get a third-round pick at the trade
He's
deadline.
good, but like I don't think teams are that high on him.
Packers
like, as
possibly?
like media, as like media members are, and
Yeah.
I'm at Colts, Redskins, Lions, Packers.
I'm sticking with the
I
Redskins
don't remember
still.
my pick.
I believe you picked the Colts with me.
All right, I'm in. I'm on board.
Yeah. Vegas sounds like the Lions. They're saying the Lions for Barr and Landon. What if they got Barr and Landon Collins? It'd be pretty
The
big.
North would be nuts.
It's scary.
My gosh.
Who do you think the Steelers go after in free agency? Well, let's trade Antonio Brown first.
Yeah.
Clear some space.
See what they get.
We talked about them possibly trading for D Ford then. That'll be interesting. Don't think it happens. I think the Packers is where he goes. What could the Steelers... They got to make an offer at Mosley, C.J. Mosley. I don't think the Ravens let them get him. They got to do it. They got to make an offer. Quan Alexander from the Bucks. That's definitely one to keep an eye on. I like Quan Alexander, possibly back to the Bucks.
I like that.
I like him for the Bengals and the Steelers. Quan Alexander. Keep an eye on that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Do they go for a receiver in free? Maybe Randall Cobb, possibly. I think they look for the draft though. I think James Washington steps up. Could they? Yeah. I like Quan Alexander for him. Possibly a corner. They bring in like a Ronald Darby.
Someone mentioned Byron Murphy draft. I like that.
Yeah. Jesse James or Jared Cook for the Saints. If I had to choose one,
Cook's gonna get paid more.
Jared Cook.
He's
Yeah.
gonna get paid more.
I think he's better.
Yeah.
They need a receiving type tight end. I mean, they're both receiving type tight ends, but Jesse James is definitely a better blocker. But I would they need a Jared Cook type player in their offense.
Do I expect the Vikings to go for a linebacker in free agency? Yeah, I think they'll. I don't know if they land one, but they'll make some offers. I think they'll like Jamie Collins a lot. I think he's a great replacement for Anthony Barr. I think Barr's better, but Collins is a good replacement. But can they pay him? He's going to be much cheaper. But at where we sit, they have $5 million in cap. They want to bring back Anthony Harris. They want to bring back Marcus Sherrills. That's not a lot of money there, but it's something. So I mean, they want to not extend, but give Thielen a better contract. So it's going to be tough. I think they could make an offer to a guy like Jamie Collins, but they're okay with Eric Wilson too. I think Eric Wilson's pretty solid for them. So honestly, they can go Eric Wilson and draft one. They drafted Devontae Downs last year from California. I know they like him, even though it's a late round pick. He would have been a day 2 pick if he wasn't injured. So you got to think he's got some upside. So they actually could definitely stick with. They'll be interested in Collins, like I said, but they can stick with what they have. And then maybe draft another guy for rotation, but we'll see. It's gonna be the Vikings. I'm waiting for them to do something because you would expected them to. There's Barr. They're not gonna get Barr back. You would expected them to. I think out of the 3 players, Sendejo, Treadwell, Remmers, I think they would have cut one of those guys by now. So I don't know what's going on with that. There's also rumors that they could trade Everson Griffin and Trey Waynes. Nothing on that, which. I expect them to be back on the team next year. But it's very interesting that they haven't made a single move yet. But the move's coming, I guess. So we'll see. Which tackles do you guys see going to the Texans? Man, I think they look to the drafts. They could go Darrell Williams from the Panthers. They could Trent Brown from the Patriots. That's the best one on the market. Patriots, maybe they won't be able to pay him. The Patriots they're so funny because they're just like they don't want to pay anybody, but it works out. It's okay because
no other team that works out for.
Danny and I were talking about the other day. I was like, they're just so smart. Like they're just way ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
It's like ridiculous. Like they like people don't realize like what they just did. Like they just got Michael Bennett, who was just as productive. Like I saw like stats, just as productive as Trey Flowers. Yeah. He was just as productive as Trey Flowers, and he's gonna get paid half the amount that Trey Flowers is getting. Plus, they used a pick to trade for him, got a pick in return, and because they used a pick to trade for him, they're still gonna get a compensatory pick for losing Trey Flowers. So they're probably gonna gain a third rounder for losing Trey Flowers.
Somebody's about to pay the man.
Yeah, and they still get Michael Bennett, who's just as good as Trey Flowers.
Did we all pick the Patriots to get
nuts.
Flowers? We gotta update that. Where's he going? Where's Trey Flowers going? I'm thinking Dolphins or Lions.
I didn't have you guys had him going to the Patriots. I didn't have him going there.
Where'd you have him?
I had him going to the Lions.
Oh,
I don't know.
Patricia connection?
Yeah, that's because I had someone else going to the Dolphins.
What if the Lions got? I don't think it's
I had
possible.
Ziggy going to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So 3 big-time players linked to the Lions: Trey Flowers, Anthony Barr, Landon Collins. I think they don't get all 3. Is that possible? If they did, the Lions are finishing first in the North.
No, get out of here.
Maybe.
You're out of your mind. Stafford sucks.
He had a bad year last year, but he can like it wouldn't be. My mind wouldn't be blown if he had a pretty good year. Like it's possible.
Casey really wants to know about D4. We already talked about.
He's getting traded.
We think the Packers.
Yeah, we think
the Packers.
First, he asked, "What do you think his like value is, like draft picks wise?" He said Casey was saying at least a first. I don't think it's that high. I think he had one good year. He's been pretty inconsistent.
Well,
so.
and you have to extend. The team has to extend him, and you know the Chiefs are switching defense, and you know the Chiefs are shopping him. So I think his skill is worth the first, but for all those things to consider, I think it ends up being a second, which is a very good deal. I think the Packers are the team to look out for. I heard the Niners. I'm kind of surprised by that because they run more of a 4-3. But again, the Niners have a bunch of guys that fit a 3-4. I always kind of wonder why aren't they running a 3-4. Maybe they're going to switch. So Packers number 1, then look at the Niners, look at the Steelers, the Titans. Those are some wild cards. What's that?
I thought you were getting good at this.
I was too busy with my hand, using my hand. There's D4.
Oh,
the Giants. I like the Giants too.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking the Packers.
Renner.
My original pick was the Packers. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, me too. I said Packers.
No, you didn't. You said.
Oh no, I know where I sent them.
You said Steelers. Yep. Yeah, and Danny said the Titans, but Pete doesn't think the Titans.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, how happy would you be?
I'd be pretty happy though. I'd take him for sure.
Will the Raiders do some trading in the draft? Oh, they probably will.
Imagine D4 and Harold Landry.
As a duo.
Mayock probably won't be able to help himself with the trading in the draft there.
I don't think he's gonna want to trade in the draft.
It depends on who's on the board at the time, I guess.
Yeah.
Justin Houston, where is he going? I like the Bears for Justin Houston if it's the right price.
Ooh.
I think that makes a lot of sense, but maybe it's too much money.
I like Titans.
Titans for Justin
For
Houston.
everybody.
He likes all the edge.
Yeah.
Titans, Bears.
I don't think they get D4. I would take them, but
we're talking about
so
Justin
you're
Houston.
settling.
I know about you. I'm just saying.
You'll take another Chiefs edge.
We're talking about Justin.
I know,
okay.
but he's like saying all the edge for the Titans. I was like, well, I don't think they're gonna get D4. I would definitely take him, but I think like Justin Houston's definitely legitimate. Like, I think they'll like definitely talk.
If
to
he
him.
wants the money, Titans, Packers, the Steelers when they trade Antonio Brown, the same teams up there. Yeah, but I think he can go to the Bears if he takes a little bit of a cut. I think that makes a lot of sense. Familiar face with Nagy, even though Nagy's not the one that coached him, but a familiar face, trying to build the same mentality over there. So I think that one makes a lot of sense. But if he wants the money, probably not going to the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
But he may not be that expensive because he's getting up there in age and he has been hurt here and there, but still a dominant player.
What's this guy talking about? Ford's headed back to Kansas City as well as Justin Houston. No?
I mean, both currently are.
No?
Did Justin Houston?
I don't think it was officially.
Oh, the league year hasn't started yet, technically.
They're not going back.
I think of one. I think D Ford might be.
I mean, he's still on the team.
They're not going to give D Ford away.
They're not going to give him away. That's what I'm saying. He could be on the team, but I think Justin Houston's definitely done.
I'm curious to know what their plan is. The Chiefs, I don't get what they're doing, but I also said this about the Seahawks last year. Didn't know what they were doing, and they figured it out.
It was a weird season.
Yeah.
Though.
So I'm interested to see.
Maybe we go back to normal next year.
Damien.
All the teams got the right teams.
Damien asked a couple times. He asked which teams, and he said this one's
Peter James Jones. Peter James Jr. Jones Holiday.
Which teams are the sleepers in free agency, and he also asked like which like players are like sleeper.
What teams they're like big? They're gonna go after some guys.
I guess that's assuming.
I think the Jets. It's not really a
Not a sleeper team at all.
No, but I think the Jets are gonna land multiple big names.
That's okay.
And I also think Oakland is another one of those teams that, again, not a sleeper team, but they're going to land in the free agency multiple big names. Who else is a sleeper in free agency? That's interesting.
Which players are sleepers?
What do you mean?
I'm just asking
agencies?
questions that he's asking. Yeah,
Free
like
agency players?
players that are like sleepers. Like maybe the guys that are like not gonna get the biggest contract, but they're gonna like pay off. That's how I think it is. Like they're gonna be like really good.
Better than their contract.
Better than their contract. Like
People aren't
guys like
talking about him.
sleeper guys. Yeah, that's what sleepers are.
Anthony Harris, the Vikings safety, but he's
going
restricted.
back.
You're saying that's going elsewhere?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're good pickups.
That was just a.
Jamie Collins is a good one. Somebody mentioned.
AB's on Instagram apparently. That's what everyone's saying.
Should I pull it up?
Maybe. Sleeper. Quan Alexander. Now people are talking about Quan Alexander because he was just hurt, but he's very good.
He is live.
Somebody's got a Kentucky shirt on in the background.
He's going to Kentucky. Confirmed.
Wait, there's no team there.
I think he's just power washing his driveway. What is he doing?
Power washing his driveway.
Power washing the driveway with his baby.
It looks like he had a power washer. We'll just keep this here in case we are interested.
In
case he's in a
logo.
In case he's just in it. Who's it? This is not Antonio Brown.
Somebody asked about Anthony Barr, the Jets. We talked about Anthony Barr. Yeah, I heard those rumors about the Jets, Lions. I still think West Coast, though. And the Browns are possible if it's not West Coast, too. But West Coast, possibly Raiders or Chargers. Tyrell Williams, we think he's going to the Colts. But the Browns and the Raiders are top options as well.
Should I ask him where he's going in the live chat here?
You think he'll answer?
Probably not.
Probably so many people already writing that.
Browns, come with Baker. That's the first comment I read.
Steelers aren't going to trade him to the Browns.
What are the Browns' ceiling this year? What's their ceiling?
Playoffs.
Playoffs?
Yeah.
Well, like how many wins in the playoffs?
Second round exit.
Second round
exit.
Because they have a bye in the first, or because they have
no. They could win that division.
They could. They're ceiling.
I'm saying they win the division.
I agree with
actually.
that. I agree with that ceiling there.
Yeah, because they can. I don't know if they can win a playoff game yet, but they could win the division.
Maybe.
They're winning the division. You heard it here first. I was high on them last year.
But that was wrong.
It wasn't completely wrong.
That's wrong.
He's running drills now.
Power washing his driveway.
No, he had a power washer. He literally had a power washer.
Is he playing defensive back?
No, he's doing a lot. Oh, whoa. Oh, he's wearing an Oakland jersey. Just kidding.
Well, Malik Jackson. Somebody asked about him. Where's he going?
That's an interesting one.
I think he goes to a 3-4 team. Plays defensive end. Which team? That's the question. If I had to pick one, let's see.
Back to the Broncos.
They don't really need them.
No, they don't, actually.
It's the same 3-4 teams
They
we
got
keep
Derek
bringing up.
Wolfe and Bradley Chubb.
And maybe the Titans are an option.
Divisional team.
There you go.
Titans are getting everybody.
Everybody.
Ready to get Sue, and then D Ford, and then Malik Jackson, and Justin Houston, and Danny Amendola.
Vikings, Roger Saffold, agree or disagree? I'm going to disagree at this point because he's too expensive. They would like to have him. They're going to have to
Malik Jackson?
make some moves. They could use him, but I don't know if they could pay him. Maybe they could. But, yeah, I don't know if the Vikings can pay Saffold right at the moment. They got to make some cuts. Maybe they can do it.
The boys.
Saw somebody ask something that I missed.
Who will the boys go after for free agency?
I
like
like
Earl Thomas, but I don't know about it anymore.
too much money. I like Adrian Amos for them. I like Let's take a look at some D linemen.
Yeah, David Irving.
D tackles possibly. Maybe Sue, maybe Sheldon Richardson.
Irving and Gregory can't stay off the weed.
The weed. I don't know what their deal is.
Why are the Titans getting players that are exiting their prime?
Pete.
Why are they like? Who did they get who's exiting out of their prime? Where's this question at?
I don't know. CJ Mosley staying with the Ravens and Za'Darius. Yeah, I think both go back to the Ravens, but anything's possible here. Who will fill Lions slot receiver? Could be Randall Cobb. Could be John Brown. Keep an eye on those two guys. Maybe a draft pick. Maybe they go mid-rounds. They go with a guy like Greg Dortch from Wake Forest, possibly. Can my Redskins get Landon Collins? I think it's a possibility. I'm thinking Colts or the Redskins. A few other teams, but the Colts and Redskins are the top teams. Bills get Darrell Williams and Ramon Foster. I think Darrell Williams for the Bills.
This is a good looking question. Would Devin Bush fit as the left outside linebacker for the Chargers, seeing as Perryman has re-signed and will probably be the Mike?
Bush can fit that, yeah. No problem. Bush can fit a 3-4 and a 4-3.
No problem.
It's very good linebacker.
Crowder to the Vikings? Thoughts?
It's not our slot guy. Yeah, Kirk's there. Kirk and Crowder back together.
Ooh. You like that?
I like that.
You like that?
Sign him up. Let's do it. But the Vikings got like no money, so I got to figure something
No
out.
monies.
D4 the Giants. I do like the Giants for that. My pick's the Packers, but I think the Giants actually makes sense there. Will the Eagles trade for a running back or draft? I'd keep an eye on Tevin Coleman for free agency. Jordan Howard in a trade. Duke Johnson has already been talks about that. Or in the draft, yeah. If I had to pick.
I don't think Duke could be the guy.
You don't?
I don't think he could be like the guy.
I don't know. Yeah, here do I.
He's just a guy who just
I like
gets
him.
he just gets put in third down situations.
I
I
like
don't really see him as a workhorse running back.
He's a nice receiver.
Yeah, he's not
Receiver
he's not like a workhorse running back though.
No. He's a good
That's
duo
what the
guy.
Eagles. I think that's what the Eagles are looking for
Yeah.
though.
Everybody's asking about Barr. Barr, the Jets. Yeah, I'm hearing that. Jets, Lions as the recent rumors, but my gut's telling me West Coast, possibly the Raiders.
Who picks up Jeffrey Simmons?
Jeffrey Simmons. Who takes a chance on him? I'm thinking the two teams come to my head right away. The Rams and the Chargers. I think the Patriots are an option. The Colts are an option. Those are the teams that come to my head first.
Tony says Barr sucks.
No.
No.
No. Mark Ingram. We haven't talked about him.
Mark Ingram. Yeah, where's he gonna go?
That's an interesting one too.
Maybe the Eagles go for Mark Ingram.
I think he's gonna get a little bit of money.
Overpaid, you think?
I think he's going to be overpaid. Yes. I'm not saying he's bad, but he's going to be overpaid.
Could just go back to the Saints.
He can, but I think he kind of has a nice market. There's a lot of teams too that could need his services. What's a good fit? That's interesting, because he's not. You got to find a good guy to pair him with. I don't like Mark Ingram as your every down back. I don't like that. He can handle it, but I don't like that.
Could go to the Bills.
He can duo with Geis in Washington.
Possibly.
If they don't bring back AP.
I don't know if Ingram leaves unless he's like guaranteed starting. Unless the Saints just don't offer him, but
He's not guaranteed starting in New Orleans. So, if I'm New Orleans,
well, I'm
it's
saying
about
if he's not guaranteed starting somewhere, he'd rather just stay and
just stay.
do what he's doing.
That's
Who's going to take Montez Sweat? My latest mock, I had the Lions going with him, but I'm starting to think maybe the Bucks go at Sweat at 5, possibly. I mean, the Raiders could even do it at 4. I like Montez Sweat a lot.
5th?
What's wrong with that?
It's high.
He's a freak.
Freak.
I'm thinking like Panthers.
Down there? 16? You're out of control. Get Pete off the show. He's out of control.
I don't know.
Odell's not getting traded.
I don't want to talk about that. I don't understand it.
What could the Redskins do to make the playoffs? I've had D4 up here for a while.
Do we have just like a normal one?
There's Trey. There's Barr. There's Landon.
They're going to get Landon. The Redskins.
Redskins can get Landon. There's our
is.
goat house picture.
I don't know what's to help make it to the playoffs.
They need some Keenum magic. That's what they need.
Offensive line needs to stay healthy. That's number one. O-line, stay healthy.
Guys, stay healthy.
Guys. I mean, but they could have made the playoffs last year without guys staying healthy. But if he stays healthy, he's going to be darn good. So,
Yeah.
But the offensive line stays healthy. The quarterback stays healthy. They got a shot. You know, they need some defensive backs. That's the biggest need, if that's what you're asking, I think. Maybe a receiver is the biggest need. Receiver, defensive back. They've gotten away with, like, not having really good receivers, though. You know? So,
Yeah.
where does Le'Veon and AB go? I'm starting to think they both go to Oakland. Pretty wild, but I think the Jets is realistic for Le'Veon. We'll see. Philly's not getting Barr. I'm not seeing that one. I think Sweat's more of a DN, but can play outside linebacker. Where does Greedy Williams go? Somewhere, let's see. I think I think it goes a little later than people think. Some people think in the teens. I think it's more in the 20s. Steelers, Seahawks, Eagles, that range. Clinton Dix. I think Clinton Dix is going to the Raiders. That was my pick. I'm sticking with it. Clinton Dix to the Raiders. Can the Giants get Earl Thomas? I think it's possible. I think Earl Thomas goes to the Niners, though. I think somebody asked about that. Do they have a chance? I think my pick's the Niners for Earl Thomas. Big names the Lions are going to sign. They're going to try to get Trey Flowers. They're going to try to get Anthony Barr. They're trying to get Landon Collins. Do they get those guys? I think they get one of those three.
Somebody said you got everyone going to the Raiders.
Yeah, I was getting bashed before for not having anybody go to the Raiders. We were getting for our I think all of a sudden, I think that's the place where maybe everyone wants to go. I think Brown, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, Clinton Dix, Anthony Barr. I think
they can do it.
At least two of those four. At least two of them. Where does Calvin Harmon go? I think early second round. If the Colts don't draft a receiver in the first, possibly them.
Early second.
Yeah. I think teams will be split on Calvin Harmon.
I'm not that high on him.
I think teams will be split.
There's so many good receivers in the draft.
Free agency starts on the 13th, but the legal tampering period starts on Monday, the 11th. So we're going to start hearing a lot on that day. Let's see. Which free agents should the Panthers go after if given the cap situation or given their cap situation? Yeah, they're not much cap. So we just had some news. Nothing. False alarm.
False alarm?
Yeah. Let's see. What's their cap situation? The Panthers, $17 million in cap. Not super terrible. I think they would like a guy like Trey Flowers. Maybe they won't be able to do it. I think Ziggy Ansah, like give him a 1-year deal and they can do it. 1 or 2 year deal. That makes a lot of sense. They could look at some of those safeties too. Maybe the ones that aren't going to get a whole bunch of money. LaMarcus Joyner. I don't know if he gets a big payday. Possibly him. Yeah, I kind of like those guys.
Question just for me here.
Oh, Pete.
Do you think Des Bryant comes back to Dallas, and if so, will it be better or worse for the team? I don't think he goes back to Dallas. I think it would be worse for the team if they got him back. They create a lot of tension in the locker room with him bad-mouthing some of the players, and like I feel like they've been going back at him too. Like him and Sean Lee were like going at it, but I don't think it'd be a good situation.
Do you think he comes back and plays?
I don't know where he's gonna go. I think he's still good. He's just a problem.
Yeah.
I don't know if he goes anywhere.
Yeah, it's tough.
Where does Tevin Coleman go? Our pick was the Jets. Who else did I say I liked for them? For him. Eagles. Yeah. I saw a question. Where did it go? Where does Darrell Williams go? I'm thinking Bills or Giants. Probably the Bills if I had to pick one, but either one. Which round do you think Paris Campbell go and which team? I think he goes second.
Second.
Probably should go third though.
He's gonna go third.
I think so many teams gonna fall in love with that athleticism.
There's gonna be so many receivers gone then by the second round.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
They're
record
good.
this year.
They're good, but
It's gonna
like,
be an
they're
NFL draft
they're
record.
definitely gonna get spread out. Like some guys are gonna drop.
Yeah, somebody's gonna drop him. I think it's Paris Campbell.
I don't know.
Somebody's gonna fall in love with the speed. Can't pick a team. It's hard to pick. Patriots could pick him with the last pick in the second round. Titans could pick him. No.
They're not getting him.
Redskins.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a John Robinson guy.
No.
They'll take him.
What do you think of Hyde at the Chiefs? I like it. Good pair with Damian Williams.
Good duo.
Thought they were going to go bigger. Thought they were going to go for the big time back, but they're going to go defense in free agency. Who will take T.J. Hawkinson? Earliest he can go is probably the Lions at 8. Don't think it happens, though. I think the Bills at 9 is a possibility. I think the Bengals, Broncos, those two teams are possibilities, too. I had Bengals in my last mock draft, I believe. I think I'll stick with that for now.
Eifert just keeps getting hurt.
Yeah, they have a bunch of free agents at the tight end position, too. What should the Bears do in free agency?
I already addressed this.
What was it? Say it again.
You need to get Amos, or I think you need to get both Callahan and Amos back. But if that doesn't happen, you need to bring back at least one of those. Potentially tight end depth. You need to make some. I don't know. I'm still very concerned for the kicker situation. Very concerned.
They got Blewett.
Yeah, that's just a great one. He should legally change his name if he wants to play.
You blew it.
You blew it. First kick he misses, that's all you're going to see.
You blew it.
Those Adam Sandler gifts just all over Twitter. Yeah.
Can you recommend good resources to learn about NFL schemes and personnel? Right here.
Right here, right now.
I just know every team's scheme just based off watching a lot, honestly. Like, at the top of my head, I just know everyone's scheme. I mean, if you look at it's a good website for depth charts that helps a little bit. Kind of gives you a layout. rlads.com, I think it is. Could be wrong on that. I use it sometimes. Look at whose team's backups the depths are. It could be stepping up. Pretty cool website. So, I mean, if it gives you an idea what their scheme is based on how their depth chart is. So, I mean, you can take a look at that. But I kind of just know the top of my head just based off watching a lot.
Eifert to the Vikings? Thoughts?
I mean,
that's a high risk. High risk, high reward.
He's going to get hurt.
Last year he snapped his leg. That doesn't happen twice.
He's hurt every year. Doesn't snap his leg every year, but he's hurt every year. Eifert, if Eifert is healthy the whole season, he's a top 5 tight end in the NFL. But he's not going to be. So the Vikings have too many guys that can get hurt at any second, so I don't think it happens. TJ Lang back to the Packers or TJ Hawkinson? Which TJ? Both, maybe. Texans are a 3-4. Where will Ed Oliver go? I think he drops a little bit. I think people are a little high on Ed Oliver. They're a little too hyped on him. I think he drops a bit. I think he goes in the teens. Which team? It's hard to say at this point. Anywhere from the Bengals to the Browns. Anywhere in that range. Will the Giants get in free agency? We talked about that they'll look at some safeties, some pass rushers. We kind of talked about it already, but they'll look at Darrell Williams to the right tackle. Yeah, they'll try to offer Earl Thomas, possibly a guy like Amos too, Ziggy Ansah possibly. Is Mark Barron going to hit the market? I mean, he's already in the market.
Terrell really wants to know who will be Philly's second receiver.
Philly's second receiver.
Uh-huh.
What, are they going to trade Nelson Aguilar?
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to get someone
Aguilar's
better.
the guy.
They're going to get someone better. Or they're going to draft someone.
It's tough. Is Arizona going to run a college-style spread offense if they get Murray? If they get Murray, yeah, they're going to run a spread offense. Do you think the Steelers go receiver in the second? That's hard to say right now. Probably not. I'd say they go defense first and second. It could happen, but I don't know. They like James Washington. Can the Lions sign Collins, Flowers, and Tate or Crowder?
I don't think Tate is interested in going back.
Could be. I don't know about Tate. Tate's going to get more than Crowder, so I think they can go Flowers, Collins, and Crowder. They may be completely out of money then.
Why would the Lions? They don't need 2 receivers.
No, he's not saying Tate or he's saying Tate or Crowder.
Oh,
I'm saying I might have said it wrong. Flowers, Collins, and Crowder. I think it's a possibility.
yeah. I think Crowder's is better.
Ravens free agency thoughts. I think they're gonna focus on getting Mosley back and Zadarius Smith back, and then they want Tyrann Mathieu as well. And there's possible they get those 2 guys back and get Tyrann Mathieu.
Wow.
Don't know if they'll do much after that though. They could definitely use another receiver.
Because John Brown.
Draft though, yeah, but they need one anyways. But then they looked at the draft for the receivers. Who's gonna draft Devin White, top 5. Tevin Coleman, so much Tevin Coleman talk, and Devin White. I like Devin White too. I don't think he goes top 5 though. I think the Broncos at 10 is where I got him right now. He has tremendous upside, but then there's some negatives. He flies around and makes so many plays, but he whiffs at times too. You see him going too fast, and he'll just whiff on a tackle. People think he's at the top tier because of his high motor, flying around, hit people, but I think it's more because of his coverage skills. He's very good in coverage for a linebacker that size, that athletic. So that's the main reason. But yeah, he definitely. The one thing that stands out is that he's
important now too.
Flies around. But yeah, I mean he could go top 5, but I'm just thinking teams want the quarterbacks and the pass rushers. That's first in people's heads. So I think he ends up going Broncos around there, 10.
Wait, I got a question. Going back to the Ravens, who are the receivers? Did they cut Crabtree?
Willie Snead.
Willie Snead.
Willie Snead is literally the only one I can think of.
I have him getting Golden Tate.
Yeah, they don't have any receivers.
Who were some kickers for the Vikings, and they might get Bailey back.
Do you think he did a good job?
Not really.
But
who else?
To get his job back?
Yeah, enough to get his job. For the Viking standards, he did a hell of a job. He did one hell of a job. He made all the extra points, or maybe he missed one.
No, I think he missed.
He missed one extra point.
Jesus.
You didn't party it though.
He had the NFL record for accuracy before he went to the Vikings. He doesn't have it anymore. Just think about that. There's a curse going on there, and I don't like it.
Oh boy.
Anna Murray will not get drafted to the Cardinals. I say he gets drafted. I think he goes to the Cardinals. I'm a believer. Who do you think the Texans will pick up in free agency? And they look at some linemen: Darrell Williams, Saffold, Trent Brown. If they got Trent Brown, that'll be big time. They'll try to get Tyrann Mathieu back. Don't think they'll get him back. Could look at Joyner. They could look at Amos for strong safety. They could look at Sue. I mean, you can just go on all day here. It's tough to say there.
I think that should do it here.
It's going to do it?
Yeah, it's
got a lot of questions.
a lot of
There's
questions.
a lot of questions.
I was going to reveal my top 5 quarterbacks, too.
Oh, do that. Yeah, let's do that.
Fun.
I don't have mine with me, but
You know, I'm with you. They should be in your head.
they're in my head, but
They're
my
in my
notebook is
head.
not with me. I have a notebook of my top 5.
Bills free agency thoughts. I think Darrell Williams. I think. They could take a look at Tyra Williams too. They could. A lot of the receivers.
D-Jax to the Vikings? He's too...
Yeah, if he
too
wants to play
rich.
for cheap. His last 1,000-yard season was with Kirk. So how about it?
How's about
Just
it?
imagine that. Imagine Thielen, Diggs,
What do you
and
think about the
D-Jax.
Steelers bundling Artie Burns and Brown to get a first-round pick. I don't think Artie Burns is going to get them a first-round pick.
Yeah.
I think you're just dumping Artie Burns there.
Yeah, I think you're just trying to get rid of him.
He's not sweetening the pot at all. He's just there to just it's almost like you're just dumping his salary. He's not very good.
And the Raiders,
He's decent,
I don't
but
know. I heard Osemele could get cut or traded, take a pay cut. I don't see any reason for them to. I think he's still good. I don't see a reason for them to get rid of him unless they have somebody that's for sure going to start over him. Then I guess you might as well get rid of him. But I mean, if you want to start him, but you want to take a pay cut, I don't really see the point. I think you just keep him.
I like Dustin said Ravens should get Adam Humphries. I think that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like Ravens, I have them getting golden tape, but I think they should get someone who's reliable, get open and catch the ball, like not have a problem with drops for Lamar Jackson. Give him an easy target. Get him going.
Where will Cleveland Farrell go? That's probably like the toughest one because he can go. He has a big range. He can go 5 to the Bucks, or he can go down in the 20s. He can go all the way down to the Seahawks. He's a tough one because I think he needs a 4-3 team. I think he needs like an exact fit. I think teams are going to be split on him too. Some teams are only looking for the athletic guys now. He's not really that. I think teams will be split. I think the teams that do like him will kind of know that some teams won't like him, and they'll know they'll be able to trade back or wait to get him possibly. So I think he could go as high as 5 or something like that, but I think he drops. That's my pick. I think he in the teens or even early 20s. Is there a quarterback in this year's draft class that could be a sleeper that could be great in a few years from now? Yeah, we'll get to my quarterback ranking in a second. One of those guys I think has a high potential. Does Jimenez go in the first? I don't think so. He's got a lot of upside. I don't think he goes in the first. I think second or third. Any chance Steelers draft Marquise Brown after trading AB? I think there's a chance. It's definitely a chance.
I don't know.
Most likely not.
Number 84.
I don't know. Roethlisberger's
Cordero Patterson of the Packers.
talking trash about his cousin.
I saw Steelers as a possibility for
Very good.
Patterson. Cordero Patterson, Steelers, I think is a possibility. This guy says Packers. Any Vikings update? No, there's nothing going on with them right now. I'm still waiting for them to cut somebody.
Rick's quiet over there.
He's in the gym.
He's in the gym.
He's cooking something up.
He's in the gym for sure.
Yeah.
Chris Moore. That's the Ravens receiver we forgot.
Chris Moore.
Get into your quarterback rankings.
Quarterback rankings? Can anybody predict the quarterback rankings?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, I want them to predict.
Yeah.
Them to predict.
Yeah, I saw the graphic. Obviously, I'm not going to predict it. Oh.
People asking about teams making the playoffs. It's too early for that.
Too
It's
early.
Too early. Come on now.
Guess Riz's
Top 5.
Top 5 quarterback.
Well, actually,
rankings
some of
in
them
this
probably
draft.
know him because people that have donated. Yeah, somebody. I know Keenan's already got the ranking. Somebody else donated during this. A couple other people did. If you comment on any video with your email, I can send you my position rankings. I'm giving them to people early.
If you don't.
If you donated and I never sent you my prospect rankings by position, I need your email. If you donate through Super Chat like Damien and Gus did, it doesn't give me your email, and I can't just message you. So if you comment or find me on Twitter, find us on Twitter, link in the description for that. With your email, I can email them to you. So I'm giving my prospect rankings early to people that donated, or we brought our Patreon back. So basically, it's we'll talk about that in a little bit, but Patreon is going to be the new way to get extra content from us. But we'll talk about that with the. Oh, somebody predicted Murray, Haskins, Greer, Locke, Ripon. I always want to say Ripon. I don't know why. There's your email there. Can I copy that? Yes. No, I can. Write that down. Do you gotta touch? Don't. There you go.
Write that down, Pete.
Captain Luck 12 at Gmail. I'm gonna go ahead and just say he's a Colts fan.
That's a good.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know why I think that.
Captain what?
Captain Luck.
12.
Everyone's predicting my top 5 quarterbacks right now. But somebody's gonna get it right because somebody has my prospect.
Then
rankings.
Get into it.
Murray, Locke, Haskins, Greer, Stidham. No. Murray, Locke, Haskins, Greer, Jones. No. Haskins, Locke, Murray, Greer, Ripon. No. We could do because somebody's going to get it because somebody's got my prospect rankings. We can do guess my top 5 of my big board, because nobody has my big board yet. People that donate a significant amount or go to our Patreon. It's a link in the description for the Patreon.
We're going to get to that, though.
But yeah, that's how you get my big board, too. All right, let's just talk.
Get into it.
Christmas soul.
That's not it. That's it.
There it is.
Let's get us out of here.
There we go.
That's my rankings right now. I had Locke at 1 for a while. I really like Locke. I mean, he's got a nice touch on the ball. He's got a good deep ball. I think he's able to move around the pocket. But Murray, to me, I keep saying to myself, I don't want to play against Murray. So I said that enough times where it made me move him to 1 because I would be afraid to play against him. Going against Drew Lock, wouldn't be too afraid, but he's got a tremendous upside. Dwayne Haskins is 3 to me. I think the 1, 2, 3 is pretty clear. You know, I'm not going to budge on that. Out of these 3 teams, I think the best single tape was Haskins versus Northwestern. You know, if there was a bunch of games of Haskins versus Northwestern, like bunch of those types of games, Haskins would be my 1. That was an unreal game. You know, the reason he's number 3 is because, you know, I'm worried about him with any type of pressure. You know, he's not really that great at moving around the pocket. He's good at throwing on the run. Different situation, though. You know, his pocket presence, moving around the pocket when he's getting a little pressure, which he didn't have much of at Ohio State. I'm worried about that. If he's on an average to below average offensive line, I'm a little scared, you know. Stidham has moved out to my number 4. And Stidham's that guy. Somebody asked, who's that sleeper that could be great in a few years from now? And that's Stidham to me. I think he's got a lot of potential. Like, obviously, my top 3 have better chance of being good. That's why they're my top 3. But Stidham is that guy. I think he's got a lot of potential with the right team. And I think Finley's got, you know, he's got a good touch on the ball. He's very accurate. You know, he's not the most mobile guy. A little more athletic than I thought he'd be looking at the combine. But, yeah, Stidham, a lot of upside. Needs some work, though. Ryan Finley, I like him as well. He's very accurate. But I think Stidham and Finley, I think those are 2 guys that the Patriots. I'm feeling the Patriots for one of those 2 guys. You know, they'll take a look. Will Greer's at 6. Daniel Jones at 7. Tyree Jackson at 8. Yeah, Daniel Jones I'm just not that high on. You know, I'm not really sure what the hype's about. I keep going back and watching. And he'll have his moments. But then he'll have his bad moments. I don't see much of a ceiling for him. He's better than Will Grier right now. There's no doubt about that. But Will Greer's got a much higher ceiling. I think in a year or 2 he could be better with the opportunity. Will Grier needs some work, though. You know, he does remind me of Baker a little bit, but nowhere near as good as Baker. Will Grier will have sometimes he'll have some throws that are pretty far off target. You know, they make you. It's a weird offense too. So West Virginia. So I don't know. Tyree Jackson, I guess he's another one. You know, another sleeper that could turn out to be really, really good is Tyree Jackson. You know, he's had his moments that were pretty bad too, though. But if he goes to the right team, he definitely. You know, I'm actually pretty close. Those bottom 3 there, 6, 7, 8. Those guys are pretty close. I think Tyree Jackson could really hop those guys. But I'm pretty set on my top. The top 3 really separate themselves, and then I'm pretty, you know, I don't know the right word here. I'm pretty clear on my number 4 here with Stidham. I'm sticking with. I'm set. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word set. Pretty set with him at 4. I'm pretty set with Finley at 5. Greer, Jones, Tyree Jackson could all move around. Rippon would probably be next. You'll have to see my full rankings. Anybody that donated today or in the past. You will get the email to, it's just a spreadsheet, but I counted them yesterday. I have 260 something guys ranked on there, and there's going to be more. It's constantly updated. So 260 plus guys ranked on my prospect rankings by position. So if you donated before this or today, you will get them. Going forward, we got our Patreon going. You can see that link at the bottom of that graphic. There's a link in the description to our Patreon. Is just a great way to help the channel grow. You know, a lot of big YouTubers go that route, and we're trying to we had it and we kind of went away for a little. We didn't think we were ready. We're kind of going back to it. It's a way to help us grow, help us improve, make the content better. It's also a way to get you guys more involved and get you guys more content outside of YouTube. There's different tiers. You know, you do have to spend money on there if you want to get extra access. That's kind of how it works. But there's ways you can get extra draft content. There's ways that you can get you know, we give you guys a possibility to choose our next video. You guys choose you guys write the video. Shout outs included. There's ways where you can see extra content, you know, things that don't go in video. Sometimes we record and not everything makes it to the video. Some skits, some bloopers, that type of stuff will go to some of the people. So check out our Patreon. It's worth checking out there. So we appreciate everyone donating in the past, today. Really appreciate you. But I think there's so many questions. We're on Twitter, too. We're trying to get the following up. Let's pull this Twitter up. Where'd it go? There it is. There's our Twitter and Instagram links in the description. Go on Twitter, ask these questions. I'm never just going to deny somebody unless it's a absolutely terrible or ridiculous question. But I'm always talking on there. So it's a must follow, especially this time of year. So ask your questions there. Yeah. I think that's going to do it, though.
That's going to do it, yeah.
We're going to be live a few more times, obviously, with more of these Q&As, maybe when free agency actually starts.
And then how about the draft?
The draft, we're going to be live during the draft. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be live day one, that's for sure. I don't know what our plans are after that. Possibly day two. Day one is what we're starting at. It's going to be a great live stream. That's kind of how this channel grew, is because the draft. It started with the draft, so we're very good at breaking down the draft. So you're going to get our thoughts on that during it. Who's the best safety in the draft? Taylor Rapp. That's my number one safety in the draft. And I'm set on that one. I like Taylor Rapp a lot. But that's going to do it for this one, though. Yeah, thanks, everyone, for joining in. We're going to do another one of these because I want to answer more questions. But, yeah, go to our Twitter.
Ask away.
Ask away. Subscriber goal. It's at 20K.
Keep going.
We want to keep getting there. We want to get closer. Like button, notification button. You're going to want to turn those on. We don't turn the like button on. You kind of just click it.
Click it.
Turn the notification on.
You turn it on.
You turn that one on.
Yep.
And then so you know when we're going live, because this kind of happened like an hour before we started. We're like, let's go live. Yeah. It kind of happens like that. So you're going to want to turn that on. So that's going to do it. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Goodbye.
Goodbye.